Hey y'all, hey. What's up there?
Hey y'all, hey.
So, what's happening?
What's going on? Welcome to the Soul Sisters.
Welcome in.
Yeah, I think last time we talked about boundaries.
Boundaries. Mm-hmm.
What shall we speak about today? Don't start that shit. Do not start laughing.
I think we're going to talk about a part of boundaries, which is communication.
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways to communicate, and I think sometimes people think talking is the only way. Uh, Body language is communication. Facial expressions is a communication. Lack thereof is a communication.
Yep.
Sometimes people think just because they don't respond, they're not responding. No response is a response. The problem is the person receiving this response gets to misconstrue your response, whatever they think it means. Your silence may mean no, and they can assume it means yes. You didn't clarify. Who's responsible for that, Robin? Who's responsible for making sure you understand my silence or my body language?
If I'm trying to get you to understand,
Mm-hmm.
or you're trying to get me to understand,
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you to get me to understand.
And that's where the trouble lies. People don't realize it's up to you to make sure the person you're talking to or communicating with understands what you're saying.
Absolutely.
How can you be mad at somebody who has no idea what you're talking about?
Right. Because you think you've explained it oh so well.
And normally we've explained it to the best of our ability.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with the person that we're talking to, because remember, perception is reality.
Yeah.
Communication is more about listening than talking. You can learn a whole lot about a person by watching their body language, their mannerisms, listening to the tone of their voice, watching their facial expressions, without them ever saying they're annoyed or you hurt their feelings. You can see when somebody's feelings are hurt. You can see when someone is deflated in a moment by something that you may have said or done.
Yeah. And the one thing that I've found in communicating or trying to communicate with many people, is if I say, well, I feel like that was rude, and I feel like that you're being rude, you can't say, well, I ain't rude. I just told you that that was rude.
And here's the thing, you may not have felt like you were being rude. But if I say you were being rude,
You were
then
being
you were
rude.
being rude to me.
Right.
If you internalize that and say I'm not a rude person, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about in this moment. Takes you back to what we talked about last week. Facts. If you stick to the facts, and the fact of the matter is, I feel like you were being rude to me. I never once said you were rude or called you a rude person, but you've internalized it instead of just saying, hey, how was I rude to you?
Right.
But that's communication. And a lot of times people don't want the accountability of
Absolutely.
asking the questions. How was I rude to you? They much rather communicate in a way that they're comfortable hollering, screaming, yelling, ignoring. It's like, what? All I said was, I felt like you were rude to me. So now people don't speak for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, all because somebody felt like they weren't rude.
And another thing too, like, oh God, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. So I think this is important to listen.
It is.
Relationships are important. How you build relationships is through communication. Before we came on, Robin and I were just talking about, I was talking about respect and how I feel like you can't possibly love me if you're doing all the things I asked you not to do. And that just kind of reiterated, we talked about with boundaries before. Just boundaries are so important, more important than we realize. It goes back to me telling you can't share your life with everybody because there have to be certain boundaries. And there have to be boundaries even in communication. You know, communicate the facts. Communicate from an I place. I feel. I saw. Don't say you, because that's accusatory. But here's the thing. If a person doesn't like what you're saying, they can find negative in it. It doesn't matter how many I statements you say.
And it's okay. We're all different. So.
Yeah, and we all process differently.
Right.
Which is why you have to be clear who you're talking to understands what you're saying.
Right.
And sometimes people think you're being funny because you're like, you understand? not being funny. I just don't want you to come back and say, I didn't understand. Because I'm going to be so irritated because I asked you multiple times. Do you understand? It's hard to ask the grown person, what did I say to you? Because here's the thing. We can all be saying the same thing and we'll all hear something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it depends on relationship, tone, inflection, what kind of day we're having. You know, seriously, like
it's a bunch.
You know, you ever have somebody be like, you smell nice. What do you mean I smell nice? Just what I said. You having a great day. You smell nice. Oh, thank you. It was the exact same statement. It's all about the person's response. So now the complimenter has to decide in communication what they're going to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to make it.
Yes, we will.
No, we're not.
Listen, and being fun and all that is another part of communicating, you know?
Yeah, you guys are probably like, they're cracking up. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about how to, I don't know, how to cut off communication. How do you control communication?
I was thinking about that when I was taking a bath earlier. About maybe we should talk about how to move on from a friendship that doesn't serve you anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we talked about it at the end. I think I said that last week. I had a Facebook post that said, fire the things that no longer serve you. That's so important. We let relationships go on for too long. You always say that you stayed too long. Like, you should have left early. You stayed too long. I know the new thing is red flags, but I mean, come on, guys. Sometimes, especially women, I'll just take myself for instance. As a woman, 20 years old, 3 children, I probably stayed way too long with my kid's dad. Not that I didn't love him and that he didn't love me. I think our capacities weren't for each other. I think you have to know your capacity, and there's a certain kind of love that I required. And I don't think at 17, 18, 19, 20, up to 24 with 3 children, we had the capacity. I'm not sure I had the capacity to give him what he needed. Does that mean the relationship was wrong? No. I got 3 wonderful children out of it, but yeah. People have to have the capacity to handle you, the capacity to love you, or be willing to expand.
Yeah, that was a thing that I had thought about while in the tub. That
while soaking away.
That listen, and it's okay. That doesn't mean that you are somebody is beneath you. Like better than you're not better than.
No.
You're just in a different space, and it's okay that again. For people to I look at that as a really good thing because then that means that's growth. You know what I'm saying? And I wish for the other people to, to do whatever, but we need to start opening our eyes and seeing it for what it is. And it's just the facts of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where you're with somebody, you've been with them for, I'm going to use me, my ex-husband for 10 years. Well, the things that I could put up with 5 years in was different than what I was willing to put up with 3 more years later.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To understand that. Right. But the sad thing is that I understood that I had growth and elevation and he didn't. And I tried to make it work to get him to open his eyes, be accountable for some things, so he can elevate. But I couldn't wait for him to elevate.
And he gets to choose.
And he do. And
so do you.
And I absolutely chose I'm going to keep going higher. And that's, again, the reason for this talk, that we hold our own self back. It's almost like sabotage.
Yeah, self-sabotage, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
It's really... relationships are great. Like, intimate relationships are great.
Mm-hmm.
I think, when you break up from those, most of the time when you leave, you're okay with leaving. You deal with the breakup, but you're okay with leaving. Friendships are a lot harder. Especially friendships you've been with people for years, or you trauma bonded. And when I say trauma bonded, that means you both experienced something traumatic and that's how y'all became friends.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all didn't have to experience it together. Y'all were just going through the same thing, same type of trauma, and then y'all trauma bond. Then I also think about the different relationships that we miss. Because sometimes we befriend people we're supposed to mentor, so then we get in a bad place, and it's kind of like we're in a tug of war with them. We're trying to pull them to where we are, and you know what I'm saying? You befriend
Absolutely.
somebody you should have mentored, but at the time
Absolutely.
you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So you're pulling it, trying to pull them to you, and they're constantly trying to pull you to them. Um, that becomes a thing as well. So I think that, yeah,
And then we stay too long again,
yeah.
where we
No
think
matter
we're
what the
supposed to hold
relationship
on
is,
to something. When things have seasons, reasons, timing, all of that. And I think that if we would start looking at it different, of Bobby is ready to walk away and he's going that way.
And I'm not going that way.
Yeah, again, over here we like Usher.
Yeah.
We ain't good, but we good. Why everything
Right,
gotta be beef? You know what I'm
Everything
saying?
is not beef.
It's not.
I'm like, all right, Bobby, I'll holler at you. When you come back this way, I'm going to still be right here. If I don't move. But if I do move, there's no malice, Bobby. So I'm going to shoot you a text and say, hey, Bobby, I'm a little bit closer to you, or I'm a little bit further away. The thing about friendships is they're going to have their ups and downs. It's just like any relationship. You have to choose what you're willing to deal with.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know why people are comfortable with outgrowing clothes, and we'll talk about people outgrowing jobs, and you outgrow your shoes. We never talk about outgrowing people.
Yeah.
If I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, and my friend is the same person they were 5 years ago, one of us is not benefiting the other. Actually, neither of us are benefiting the other. Because I remember last time we talked about the push and pull effect. There are going to be times when I'm going to need Robin to push me, and there's going to be times she's going to need me to pull her. But it should never be a time that I'm the only one pulling or she's the only one pushing, because then that's an unequal relationship. That's kind of what we talked about when we talked about being unequally yoked. People take that to mean spiritual. No, that means you guys are not on the same level. You're not on the same playing field, so you don't connect. Sometimes we have to have more in common than trauma. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes we even in it, it ain't even our trauma.
Right. And that's another thing. Adapting other people's trauma or their offenses. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh, what? I'm trying to figure out, you should have never done that to her when you don't know the whole story. Or as you get
Your daddy wasn't, I'm going to stay a little long. He abandoned you.
Right.
Ain't got nothing to do with
Meanwhile,
me.
you're dealing with your own abandonment issues. Right? But you're trying not to, one thing I've learned that people will do that I don't like is that, I'm going to kill myself. Listen, here's what I will tell you that I've learned in real life. I'm not that powerful. I can't make you live. I can't make you die. Because if I'm so powerful that I will make you commit suicide, then I should be powerful enough to make you stay alive. And I don't have that power. That's yours and yours alone. So we have to stop taking ownership of stuff. Because I hear people say, if I break up with him, I don't know what he gonna do. He gonna do whatever he wants. Has nothing to do with you. No. You're not that powerful, because if you were, you would make him do whatever made you leave. You would make him not do that thing that he was doing that made you not want to be with him anymore. You would be able to make him the perfect person if you can make his decisions for him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why communication is so important. I can remember years ago where, again, I don't want to come off as a bitchy chick, because I'm not that. I mean, I know, but don't push me, okay? But the thing is that
Yeah. That's exactly right. Nope. I don't know what she said. But yeah. This is what 50 looks like.
It is.
When you're in the middle of thinking, you're like, what? Communication.
It's right. And because we can get to the root of some stuff, me and you together, when we just talking and
well, let's just ignore the camera and just talk. Can I get my Reese's Pieces? Yeah. No, just keep it playing. I'm gonna get my Reese's out here. I'll be back.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to start communicate. That's what I was saying. We have to start communicating. I would do the baby walk with a few people, like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, and
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
yada
yeah.
yada, and
Yeah.
then the way I tell them,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
thought that they got it,
No, they didn't get
but
it.
they didn't get it.
They
You know what I'm
didn't
saying? Some people is just a cut and dry.
They don't,
Like
okay,
if you're
just look at
flirting
me.
with me and I don't want you to flirt with me, I'm not gonna be like, you know, thinking if I keep shooing you down and you know you'll
No, we
stay down,
we
flea.
past that stage.
You know what I'm saying? But some people don't understand that. Like
It's my turn.
I know people that do not understand body language, and if
Those
they
people
do,
are autistic.
they hide it
Those people are autistic.
a lot.
Those people are on the spectrum.
Well, I'm just saying,
Am I one of
like,
those people?
no,
I'm like, wait,
no.
but they are.
But it is something serious. Like,
Hmm. Have you experienced people who don't understand sarcasm? Like you're being sarcastic, and they're like, "Oh, you're so funny," and you're like, "No,"
yeah, I kind of know one of those too.
and you're like, "I'm not funny." Like, I'm in
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a funny, I don't even know how I would describe it. But where if somebody tell me that I'm crazy,
Hmm.
but I'm trying to tell you that where they say I don't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's why you got to be careful and really communicate because what was being said I understood, but the person that it was being said to
You're not.
didn't.
Right.
They didn't like that they was calling them crazy, and it's like they wasn't saying crazy, girl, crazy.
Look, they want now you crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like,
And I think sometimes, and then that goes back to relationship. It's kind of like when you meet a guy.
what your crazy mean? You know what I'm saying? Because my crazy and your crazy could be different.
Just like
so then
my-
we don't understand it. Now we ain't doing right communication.
Just like, have you ever told somebody you was broke,
Yeah,
but it was your broke, not they broke?
right.
I remember telling Ari he had to be about 2. I was like, I don't have any money. He was like, we at the gas station. I was like, oh, let me clarify. I don't have any money for McDonald's, but I have money for gas. When I get money from McDonald's, we'll go to McDonald's. So I think sometimes people think, but see, to me, I'm kind of that literal. You ain't got no money, but why are you doing this?
Yeah,
But I will tell you I'm broke. If I ain't got a certain amount of money in my pocket, I'm broke.
right. And again, when I said I was broke years ago, I was broke.
Mm-hmm.
If I say I'm broke today, that's because whatever you asking for, I didn't have plans on that, and it ain't in my budget.
Right.
You know, or whatever. But
Well, I just say I ain't got it. Because I ain't got it for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So, communication is essential. You have to be able to express your feelings.
yeah,
You have to. And you have to be able to communicate in a healthy way.
right.
You know, it's so important to watch your tone. I mean, communication is so much more than just what you say.
Yeah.
Like, watch your tone when you
That's
talk
why
to me.
I try to tell people. To me, it's just no good to talk to people when you upset and you're in your feelings.
'Cause you gonna
I
say
think
something
you should
to
wait
Yeah.
and depending on who you with, because I know those other type of people that waiting is like, you know, they don't want to do that. They don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I will go silent, and that's a communication of I'm done. When both of us can talk about it, ain't no need of us sitting here yelling and screaming. And again, but that goes back to that's some toxic
Yeah,
stuff.
and I feel like once I go silent, because if I go silent, that's me. I've already tried to talk, and either you weren't hearing me, you were talking over me, whatever the case may be, or I've decided I'm not going to say anything because I don't like to apologize.
Right,
So I try not to do shit I'm not sorry for.
right. Me either.
Because
Absolutely
if
not.
I say it to you,
I meant it.
I
Now,
probably
I may
didn't mean to say it
apologize
for the way.
Listen, I'm sorry for the way I said that.
But I meant
And
that.
I know that I probably shouldn't, but depending on who it was and what they've done, I say. But I meant what I said.
Mhm. And I usually mean it.
I always mean it.
Yeah, I mean what I say. I just don't mean for it to come out the way it does.
Yeah, and sometimes I won't even apologize for it. I'll correct myself within myself. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be
Like,
don't do
you know,
that.
that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Now, if they come to
Turn the
me,
camera, I can't see you.
if they come to me, remember we was forgetting this thing.
Oh, but turn it so they can still see us since we still recording.
If they come to me
Mm-hmm.
and they say they had a problem with it, then that's when I would explain that. You know, I don't just go out and hurt people's feelings. But
Right.
if they come to me and say, you know, I feel like you should apologize for what you said. No. I will apologize for how it came out, but I will not apologize for what I said because I meant it.
The problem is
Because if you had, if I had to say that to you,
we have to go that far.
we've been talking about this. This has been an issue. I've tried to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Or I've asked you to make adjustments.
Absolutely.
And
Or
when you don't-
we've had a sit down.
I can't. Again, like I said, if you repeatedly do something that I don't like, I have no choice but to think you don't love me, you don't respect me, you don't value me. Not that you're going out of the way, but the same way you learn the habit of doing it to me. Because even if I let it go, goes back to boundaries. Even if I let you do it for the last 50 years, on year 51, I say I don't like that.
Absolutely.
That means stop doing that.
Because like I said, things that I put up with my husband in the beginning, once it's like, oh no, that's not it. You know, that's not it.
You're like, oh no.
And I appreciate that relationship because in the end of that is when I learned really how to communicate. Like, okay, look, I'm on my way out of here, so let me see, because I no longer it's no longer a fight.
It's like you want,
Let me make sure that you hear me loud and clear, and now I'm gonna make sure that you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm getting ready to leave.
I'm leaving. I said I'm leaving.
Why would you do that? Because of oot to do boot to boot. Now come on.
Like what?
So after that, you know what's understood don't need to be explained. You know, like I can't wait for you because you don't understand because you haven't grown past.
Where you
He definitely grew from where I got him from. You understand what I'm saying? And he could have been awesome, but coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right.
You understand?
He made a choice.
He made a choice. You know what I'm saying? Without making a choice.
Oh, he made a choice.
Yeah, he made a choice.
And that goes back to when we just talked about that silent communication. Remember last week we talked about silent agreements. He made a choice.
Yep.
He silently agreed with what you said. I can't do ooh la boo ba ba. I want to do this. That ain't what you agreed to.
Yeah, and I was okay with it. It's like you have to. I mean, you know, yeah, I was sad.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna do? But I appreciate that relationship. I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. Like, once it was over, the peace that I found, the peace that I heard, the peace that I seen, my God. I was almost like, pinch me, did I die and go to heaven?
Ever get on my level. What?
And that raised the stakes for a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not overlooking red flags. You can be the potential president, and if you ain't the president, nigga, you the still the potential, and I ain't got time. If I'm looking for the president, I'm just saying no. And respectfully, no.
You don't want the clone?
No, it's no beef. Please do not make me sing Usher. Because I will.
You about to pop, lock, and drop it?
Yeah. So we would like to know how you guys communicate.
How do you communicate? What is the way you communicate? Are you a texter? Are you a ghoster? Now I will tell you, I can be a ghoster. I will disappear on you. I'm not really an angry texter. Being married to my husband, he's a communicator. Yeah, that was tough in the beginning because I was a yeller, screamer, cusser, then ignorer. Yeah. So now I've learned to communicate and use my big girl words, cause
it's necessary.
Yeah.
It comes a time. It's a time for everything, like what the Bible says. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a time to play. It's time to play. It's time.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't get the reasoning for a lot of people's actions
Mhm.
of, especially in this day and age, like people are snapping, shit is happening, people are on drugs, things is going on, and then you know that you're not in it to win it, and you're doing all kind of stupid stuff, and then we got problems because you just won't communicate that, hey, hey, baby, I got 5 chicks.
Yeah.
You number 5. Okay, let me say, okay, let me agree to what's going on.
You'd be
But don't
surprised if you wanna
blindside
be
me.
number
You
5.
will be so
But
surprised.
they call it poly. Now it's poly. It's a poly. And people been doing this for years.
Years.
That ain't no poly. That's him with a chick on the other side of town or up the street.
That's a Papa was a rolling stone.
No.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
And when he died,
He left us was alone.
that was y'all commercial.
Back to the regular programming. But for real, in real mess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not in real mess.
yes. If people don't start communicating and setting boundaries, something we should have been doing a long time ago. And for the people that have already figured all that out, this ain't for you.
Yeah.
But you help us out. You again, tell us how you communicate.
How and why?
Cause I bust the windows out your car. That ain't communicating. It is, but
It
it's
is.
a negative behavior, and we don't.
Don't you get to talking about behaviors on here?
I'm just saying.
That is because I've accepted as a former window buster out here. That is
Well, it is, and I've
is.
done a lot, but I'm saying that's not what we want. Like over here, we live and direct, yes, and the
peacefully.
truth. You know what I'm saying?
we
But
live in peacefully.
yeah, we want people to learn how to understand that it's okay to disagree, to agree. It's like we are
Just
not
keep it
the
moving.
same. And
we're
it's
not the
okay.
same, and I don't like what you like, and you don't like
Yes.
what I like. And guess who doesn't care? Me, because I'm gonna get what I like. So you should get what you like. The problem comes in when we don't communicate,
Yeah.
and we assume other people know what we like. And then when I go to the store and get you the stuff that I like, now you irritated with me because I didn't get what you like. But you told me to grab some stuff at the store. So it's that kind of stuff. But it's okay for you not to like what I like.
Right.
It's okay for us to not like the same music or the same. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
If you can live with it.
And if you can't, move on. Because you don't change people. People change because they want to, and that's where the good or the bad. People make choices. That's the part that we don't think about. Every day you make a choice. Whether you're sad, you're mad, you're gonna take a shower, you're gonna eat some food. If I'm gonna eat some Reese's Pieces, if I'm gonna go outside, if I'm gonna go to work, everything boils down to choice. You have choice in your relationship. You can get out whenever you want.
Yep. Nobody should settle. That's another thing we're gonna talk about.
That's a whole.
Don't settle for a babysitter. Come on.
No.
Men should be going to work.
Everybody who can should.
Everybody should. And
Unless you can afford.
we
not
will
to.
not just put it on. We are not biased over here. Please
Everybody
no.
should go to work.
In this day and age, everybody that can work should work. Nobody should be carrying, dragging
No.
somebody. You know, and if you can have it like that, and everybody is living comfortably, and I mean everybody.
Yeah, everybody, kids included.
You know, then this ain't for you, and tell some of us how to get on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking to the ones that feel like they have no other way. There's a way.
Go to work.
Yeah.
That's communication.
And if that man or that woman won't go to work and help, don't.
That's communication. Again,
I need you to go to work.
Communication is not only what you say. Remember, it's what you don't say. It's also what you do and what you don't do. It's also important to remember that love is a verb, which means it's an action word. Love does.
Yeah.
Love, nowhere does it say love takes. Love gives. Give you Bible. For God so loved the world that he gave. Love becomes an action.
Yep.
It tells you, I love you, therefore I'm going to give, whether it's my time, my money, my energy. If I love you, why
My
would I
sacrifice.
Let you starve? Yeah, why would I let you be hungry? Why would I let our kids have 2 little shoes? But I love you. There's no way you can love me
And we ain't got no toilet paper.
Right. And if
Right.
that's the way you think love is something else, because a lot of people think love is down below.
And it's not. You can do that your dang self.
They got the store. I'm
The store. You
saying,
can get whatever
like,
you want. And there's people who do it for free.
yeah.
For nothing.
I'm saying, yeah, you can use a shower head. I'm just saying.
You use whatever you need. But that don't pay the bills.
No.
And that's just real talk. Girl, why am I sitting here thinking about LDF? Because you said you can use a shower head. I'm trying to figure it out. Anyhow. That's fine.
Yeah, so we've hit our mark, and we will see you guys next time again. Hit the like button,
Hit the share button.
hit the subscribe button,
Yep.
and tell us how you communicate. Tell if you think you can help us to be better, because that's my thing. That's my thing of love. Love, again, it looks like the truth. It looks like you're not gonna let me get hit by a bus. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. Come back
You're
again.
not let me run down the traffic with a blindfold on.
Right.
You're gonna tell me, hey, take the blindfold off. It's traffic.
Absolutely.
Even then, I'll jump in front of you to keep you from going, but not to my detriment. Now, if you get off the curb and I can keep you from getting in the street, if you think I'm gonna tussle with you and put my life in danger because you want to be stupid, not.
Yeah.
But I will
so,
tell you.
mm-mm.
All right.
Don't be stupid. Come
No.
back next week. Come and
Remember-
holler at Soul Sisters.
Yep.
Let's talk.
Everything's not a beef.
Everything is not a beef.
Good
Let's
night.
be like Usher. We ain't good, but we still good.